name is Rustin McFarland, and today I'm going to teach you how to tie a double barrel popper for brim and bass fishing. Start off, you're going to need a pair of scissors, a leg puller, a bodkin or a really thick gauged needle, size 8 popper hooks, some black cactus chenille, and any color popper body you prefer, and any tails or feathers you prefer for the fly, some super glue, and any rubber legs you want, but in this instance I'm using white. Alright, to start off, you're going to take your bobbin with 210 denier, and you put it down a real nice thread base past the little hump on your hook for a popper body hook, and you're going to take your scissors and cut your excess thread off. Then you're going to run your thread all the way back up to the eye of the hook and apply a whip finish. This is real important for when you put the glue and your popper body head on, it has something to grip onto. So you pull it tight, cut your thread off, you take your bodkin and your popper body head, and on these popper bodies they have a small little hole for the eye of the hook to go all the way through. So I just stick my needle or bodkin all the way through and push it all the way through, and push it all the way on there and give it a few turns, and it makes a little hole for your hook to go through. You take that and you take your super glue and you apply it to the thread you put on your hook. Like I said earlier, it gives it something to stick onto on your hook so it doesn't slide. You test it, you just slide it on there and just turn it. It's a little tough, but it's meant to be that way. You just keep on. Alright, until you look at it, make sure it fits good. Alright, so super glue dries fast, so you got to make sure it's where you want it, because it's going to stick there. Give it a nice few little squeezes so it sticks to itself. Alright, so then you reapply your thread to the hook. So you start off, you don't want to go real far back because it's not a real big fly. So do a nice few good wraps. You cut your thread back off. Maybe give it a few more little wraps. Alright, then you take your black cactus chenille, and if you pull off a little bit, you got these two little strands. That's what you want to attach your thread to. So do a few nice little loose wraps to capture the material. Once you capture it, crank down on it pretty good. Then after that, you stick it in your material clip to get out of the way. You take your any color tail you want. You know, it's like a little bait fish tail or whatever you're trying to imitate. Stick it on there. You get it where you want it. Hold on to it pretty good. Do a few nice little loose wraps to trap the material. Then you crank down on it real good. And when you get it where you want it, you take your cactus chenille, and then you're going to start making the body. Every time you run it back, since it's got a lot of long fibers, you're going to want to push those fibers back so it's not all stacked on top of each other, and it doesn't give it the full body. So every time you make a wrap, make sure you push your materials back a little bit. It makes a fuller, thicker looking body, but in reality it's really not. Alright, so then you get all that to flush with your popper body. Then you're going to want to capture the material tag end of it with your thread. You come back, you push all the material back, do a few little wraps to fully lock that material in. You're going to cut your excess off. And you're almost done with it. You just, after that, you just apply a wet finish. And once you just do it just a few times to make a nice little knot, give a nice little tug, get it out of the way, lock it down real tight, and then you take it out of the vise. You can just completely move your vise out of the way. This. Then you figure out where you're going to want your legs. And so you take your bodkin, and like I want mine kind of in the back somewhere, so I just find a nice little spot and push it in. And you're going to go all the way through. Like so. Pull it out. Now you got a nice little hole for your legs to go through. So take a few legs. You only want 2 or 3. And I like to make them a little bit longer, so when I cut them, they'll be to the length I want it. So that way. Then I get my leg puller, and it's got a little loop on the end of it. So I put them in there like, well, first I got to put it. It's gonna be a little tough because the hole is smaller than the hole. Just keep working it, it'll eventually go through. Alright, like so, it's through. Then you put your legs in the little loop and you begin to pull it out. And it captures it, you just pull it all the way through like so. You're going to want to hold on to one end. And you just pull it back like so. Alright, then you figure out where you want it. You want them pretty even. So this side needs to come up just a little bit. Now usually just take them just like this. Find a good even middle. Cut them. Just pull your legs apart after that. I put 3 in there, so in total, since you put 3, there's 2 sides, you doubled them. You just keep pulling the legs apart, and your fly's done. That's a double barrel popper.